Hey Pokemon fans, Tamashii here. It seems like most Pokemon players rush through the game without exploring any of the areas or talking to any unnecessary NPCs. In X and Y though, there are quite a few mysterious things you can find if you take the time to look around. It's possible that some of these things are just Easter eggs, like the truck near the SS Anne in Red and Blue, and it's also possible that they'll be explained in future games. But right now, the internet is abuzz with trying to solve these puzzles, and today I'm going to count down the most interesting, creepy, and curious X and Y mysteries out there. Remember, while everything mentioned here does actually appear in the game, anything related to their purpose in this video is just speculation, and could be proven wrong or correct. So feel free to come up with your own conclusion on these strange events. We've got quite a bit of detective work to do though, so I'm only giving you 30 seconds before we get started. Number 10. Sycamore Surprise. In Calorie Way City, you meet up with Professor Sycamore for another battle. After you defeat him, he tells you he left you a surprise hidden somewhere in the city. If you find it in the right spot on the right bench on the train platform, you'll find a little note from his past self to his future self. This is ranked pretty low on the list because it's something the game outright tells you to look for. But it is a bit odd that he says he left you a present, and it turns out to have nothing to do with you at all. This is nice and all, Sycamore, but why are you showing me this? Additionally, some find it odd that this train platform is never usable in-game to actually travel anywhere. I wonder if it will ever have a purpose. Number 9. Editor-in-Chief. In the Lumio City Press Building, one of the employees mentions that the Editor-in-Chief has been gone for a long time. In fact, so long that the employee in question has never even seen her. The note on the desk says she's off pursuing a mythical Pokemon in the mountains somewhere. The Unknown Dungeon, the Sea Spirit's Den, and Terminus Cave are the only areas we know of so far that contain legendaries in Kalos. And only Terminus Cave contains NPCs at all, none of which seem to be the editor. Perhaps she's found an area of Kalos that no one has discovered yet. Or maybe she's not even in Kalos at all. Number 8. The Sundial Shadow. In Anastar City, there's a giant sundial that has significance to Mega Evolution. One woman in town says that if this were a mystery novel, there would be a treasure hidden at the tip of the Sundial Shadow. Though she's speaking hypothetically, usually people you talk to in towns and games give you hints about gameplay in some way, and this has been true of Pokemon games in the past as well to a degree. For this reason, a lot of people suspect that this NPC is trying to tell you to look for said treasure. It's interesting though, that you can't actually see the Sundial Shadow at all, nor can you reach where it would land if it had one. I guess since Pokemon games aren't mystery novels, we'll never know if there really is a treasure there or not. Number 7. The Hedges in Parfum Palace. In the courtyard of Parfum Palace, there are 2 statues of Zekrom and Reshiram, and several hedge mazes. Up close, the hedge mazes don't look like much, but if you view them from above, as seen in this picture from the official guidebook, they're shaped like Pokemon. Chandelure, Pyroar, Solrock, and one that's a bit difficult to make out. No one is quite sure what this last Pokemon is. Perhaps it's Bronzor, perhaps it's Rotom washed upside down. I personally think it looks a bit like Entei, and given the fact that the other 3 Pokemon are either fire types or related to heat in some way, it would fit there the most. But considering that the other 4 look very obviously like recognizable Pokemon, it's a bit odd that the last one is so undetailed. It could be that it's not meant to look like anything, and that it's just where you're supposed to catch Furfrou during the story. But there are some speculating that if you manage to figure out the last Pokemon, and bring all 4 of these Pokemon to the courtyard, it could unlock an event with Reshiram and Zekrom. It's a bit out there, but stranger things have happened in Pokemon games. Number 6. Xiaoné Plaza. Lumio City is huge and sprawling, but there are a few areas where not much seems to happen. One such area is Xiaoné Plaza, home to one of the 5 colored pillars in the city. The 2 ladies in this area don't have anything interesting to say early in the game, but after you beat the game their conversation will change, and one of them will say something about a Lava Dome Pokemon in the plaza. The Lava Dome Pokemon is Heatran, according to its Pokédex entry, but obviously it's nowhere to be found in the area. It'd be hard to miss a Pokemon that big and that hot. In the Lumio City Museum, it notes that the power plant right next to Lumios runs using heat, and additionally, there are several locked entrances to the power plant out in the Badlands outside the city. Perhaps Heatran is in a chamber somewhere underground, helping power the region. It could be that these ladies are just letting their gossip get out of control, but some players speculate there's some way no one has figured out yet to make Heatran appear there. Based on what the other NPC next to her says, perhaps the 3DS mic is involved in some way. Or perhaps you need to figure out how to get into those locked power plant areas. Number 5. Train Station Billboard. There isn't a lot to do in the Lumio's train station until you beat the game, but if you look at the back of one of the TMV timetables, there's a message. I'm going to go for help. Wait in the usual place. Nearby is a boy who says, it should be around here. Get help? Help with what? Where is the usual place? Does something happen if you find it? This short message provokes so many unanswerable questions. There's a sense of urgency, like something's wrong, that leaves me with an uneasy feeling. I hope I find out some of the answers to these questions, but what if there aren't any? What if the help came too late? Number 4. 5 meteorites. In Amberette Town, there are 5 meteorites on a shelf in the laboratory. In past Pokemon games, meteorites are usually involved with changing Deoxy's form, and since it has 4 forms total, there are 4 different meteorites in past games. However, there are 5 stones here, which indicates either Deoxys is getting an additional form, or maybe something else entirely. There's speculation that one might have a Mega Stone hidden inside, and that you need to bring Deoxys there to obtain it. If Deoxys does get a Mega, it'd be insane. It'd probably have an attack stat as high as Chansey's HP. Number 3. Strange Souvenir. If you haven't noticed, most cities in Kalos have hotels. Every day, the people who appear in each hotel in the region rotate around the map counterclockwise. One of these people is a backpacker who keeps talking about the region he comes from, and he says you'll see it soon. If you talk to him every day for 4 days, he'll give you an item called Strange Souvenir. This item sells for only 5 Poké-Yen, does nothing, and its description says it resembles a legendary Pokemon from a far-off region, which is not Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, Hoenn, or Unova according to the backpacker. The weirdest thing about this item is how tucked away and hidden it is. Not only do you have to track down this one random NPC, but you have to do it every day for 4 days, and he changes locations every day. It's a strange thing for anyone to just stumble upon accidentally. As for the purpose of the item itself, no one knows at the moment. Most people figure that this item will be important in a future Pokemon game, or perhaps it's just meant as a teaser to get people excited for the next game. If it does resemble a future legendary Pokemon though, I hope it only resembles it very loosely. It's a bit creepy looking. Number 2. GTS search results. Thanks to an improvement in the GTS system, you can now search for Pokemon that you haven't seen yet by typing in their name manually. This has made the GTS a lot more useful overall, but it has led to some new discoveries by the fanbase. If you type in the names Diancie, Volcanion, and Hoopa in the GTS, and deposit a Pokemon, other people are able to see your Pokemon in search results as a valid offer. Whereas if you type in other gibberish words, your Pokemon won't show up when people search for it. Indeed, if you search for a legitimate Pokemon on the GTS right now, you're bound to come up with a few results asking for these 3 names. I did test this myself with a gibberish word that was not one of these 3 names, and my Esper did not show up in search results, even when searched for with other game cards in 3DS systems. It looks like in their efforts to polish a feature, Game Freak accidentally let a few Pokemon out of the bag early. And the number 1 X and Y mystery is the Ghost Girl in Lumiose. In Lumiose City, there's one building where the receptionist says she doesn't even know what its purpose is. If you go up to the 2nd floor, this happens. It happens only once, and the girl never appears in the game again. People have looked high and low for her, explored every crevice of the region, but she's nowhere to be found. This is without a doubt the most creepy thing ever to occur intentionally in a Pokemon game. It's really out of place, unexpected and unsettling. So why is it in the game? Well, I'm going to just guess that it's simply to give people something to talk about. After all, these rumors and myths are some of the most exciting things about the Pokemon franchise. Everyone's curiosity is piqued, and collaboratively, we work together to find out more about these weird occurrences. Maybe there's more to be found to this girl. Some speculate that the girl on the 4th floor of the Hotel Rishizume is the same girl that appears in that building, but maybe there isn't, and their intention was to keep us guessing and searching and looking for answers. We may never solve this mystery, or any of the others in Kalos, but it's fun to keep guessing, isn't it? Let me know if you found out something about any of these mysteries that I haven't yet, and maybe we can solve them together. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click here to subscribe for more Pokemon videos. See ya!